spiky, infectious, red meat stuff. How do we contend with this 20th century problem? Automatic rifles, impeccable positioning, and, when needed, hardcore drugs. This is Strain Tactics. The plot is this: after the strain appeared from somewhere, humanity's mega colonies were overrun, and 70% of the world got nuked. We almost saved the Earth by blowing up an incoming ship filled with strain, but some fragments fell into the Pacific, so it had to get nuked too. After a year of making the world's worst hot pot, the UN-2 brought us back as a commander, in the hopes that our unit, Heliborne Detachment 826, will be the ones to turn the tide. To that end, we're given a good few troops and a heli base. The troops are commanded like door kickers. You can select one or several, right-click parts of the map they'll move to, draw a path, and make them throw or eat whatever's in their inventory where applicable. The controls occasionally felt like they lock up or fail to register my inputs, but there are slow time and pause functions, so that's not so big a deal. And yes, both are diegetic and activated through the use of drugs. Now, the heli base. This is where we store all our loot and how we get the troops on and off the area of operations. It's also got 3 guns to blast away strain with: a fast but weak minigun, a slow but powerful autocannon, and incendiary bombs that are limited in number and slow, but when they hit, not much can survive. With, of course, the caveats that we can't shoot through tree canopies, ceilings, or in areas where anti-air jammers are present. But everything else you can pretty much blast to pieces, so long as you've got the ammo. Anyway, after doing the tutorials under threat of being unplugged, we're brought to Outpost 826 and given our actual mission: kill strain. Okay, in more detail. As we kill strain, we unlock more and more stages, usually with more strain to kill to unlock even more. Besides being fun and profitable, it's important we destroy an average of about 40 strain each deployment, or else our base gets attacked. This starts slow but gradually ramps up the longer our campaign goes on. And if all the base staff die, we get the alien treatment.
It's the only way to be sure.
Once we've killed 2,076 strain, we're considered worthy to go on the mission to attack the strain heart. So, who's helping us accomplish this? Well, the tutorial gives us a full squad of varied units, so let's briefly get into them. Our very first soldier is Jackal, a standard combat engineer. She's a decently tough fighter who becomes even tougher when her morale maxes out. Add to that her respectable movement and shotgun, and it's pretty clear she's right at home on the front line. Toof, on the other hand, is faster but extremely frail, and his small weapon slot means he can't lay down as much firepower as his colleagues. But as a medical team member, keeping him alive lets him keep others alive. His light heals any allies that are standing inside. Without Toof, we'd have to rely on food and medicine to recover, and while some items heal fast, they're expensive, while plugging lacerations with boneless grapes is a cheap but ineffective medical practice. Plus, every unit can only carry up to 3 items in reserve, so no healer could mean fewer grenades. And where's the fun in fewer grenades? While Toof can treat everything from bad burns to grenade mishaps, there's one thing he can't help with: infection. Some enemies or items can infect squaddies, adding a timer until they explode like meat piñatas. This is where Decon Team Scab comes in. Her UV light removes infection from units, and she's immune to infection herself. Without Scab, you're stuck relying on the Helibase's Decon Shower, or taking pills that probably turn your piss bright red. That or, Look, cryopods can revive anyone who dies the old-fashioned way from some bullets. And if Scab gets scared, she might wind up dishing out that kind of death by accident. Next is Seer. Seer is a recon aircrew, making him not just fragile, but really, really bad with guns. I mean, like, making 45 perform like 22 bad. Rather than shooting enemies at the front lines, then dying or fumbling at a light brush, he's better off behind his teammates, where he can improve nearby allies' detection range and mark enemies to increase the damage dealt to them. He's also fairly fast and has 3 extra large slots, making him good for loot running, body recovery, or grenade spamming, especially once he's leveled up. And finally, Vine, an engineer like Jackal, but a defender instead of a standard. Units are one of two types, division and class. Divisions determine what stats, traits, and passive qualities a unit might have, while class further influences stats like max health, detection range, and starting gear. Defenders are usually slow but very tough, with better detection range than other classes in their division. This, combined with the rifle, sandbag, and claymore, makes Vine's role clear. Rather than storming the enemy, Vine is better suited to fortifying a position and sniping enemies as they come to him. Also, Vine already starts very experienced. As long as they're somewhat human, most units gain experience as they deal damage, take damage, and move around, improving damage output, damage reduction, and movement speed while encumbered. Another reason to assure it's not infection that kills your troops. So that's our starting team. 2 tough fighters and 3 frailer supports, 2 of whom can still wield guns decently well, as long as they stay out of trouble. But that's really just the beginning, because as long as it's big enough, any slot can hold any item. Don't like Seer's Pissery handgun damage? There's a flare pistol in the locker he can try. Want a soldier to carry nothing but incendiary fragmentation grenades? Go ahead. Want to instead give someone porn and smelly shoes for morale and faster move speed? No problem. In fact, here's a taster of other items you can find or purchase. Combat laptop. Tough and no doubt tastes like plastic. Don't eat this. Sell it instead. It's worth 1,000 credits. Found throughout various missions. You can also equip it as a weapon. But if you're expecting this kind of performance, don't hold your breath. Bottle of Negamind. By the time they hit your tongue, you'll be losing your shit too hard to care about flavor. This isn't always a bad thing. That person became so crazy they materialized a frag. Also available in bag and belt quantities. Medi-Injector. Would likely taste of a combination of unpalatable medical substances. Not that you would notice, what with all the blood that comes from trying to bite and ingest a sharp needle not meant for oral use. You total numbskull. Sold by vending machines for around 140 credits each, and rapidly restores a chunk of health. Good for emergencies. Seeker Eye. I can only imagine these would be incredibly gooey and metallic from all the blood it contains. But the aqueous and vitreous fluids likely mean it's salty too, at least. Still, probably not a flavor worth getting infected over, but hey, it does help you see better, for a time. Simply holding onto this has a smaller bonus in exchange for slower, gradual morale loss and not getting infected. Appears on some maps, and certain special infected can drop them. Pristine Bag of Tuna. No clue what eating this would be like. Its flavor text claims no tuna was harmed in its creation. Rocket Pod. You'll probably break your teeth or lose your face if you take a bite. Dropped by strain-contaminated drones. The explosion and fires can pierce walls. I highly recommend having Seer or another recon character use some of these. Once they reach 9 movement, they suffer a piddly 7% penalty to movement speed, even when laden with several. Also, recons tend to turn pretty fast, and the rockets fire as soon as the unit is facing the desired direction. Just keep your distance from enemies and allies. I love this variety, not just because it helps me learn about the setting and technology, but because it helps me deal with an enemy that's almost as varied. To avoid snaring this video, like some strain, some demand you clear rooms before entering, space units apart or send them individually, equip units with weapons of the right types, and some can even return fire, in a manner of speaking. Depending on what missions you take, strain might not be your only enemies either. Anyway, after racking up our 2,000 kills, it's time to tackle Heartbreaker, and that's a real fucking onslaught. 500 strain, 4 planted spawners, and the possibility that even success will kill your team. We are detonating a neutron bomb after all. Setting up the bomb requires 2 minutes, and you'll have to fight tooth and nail just to keep someone in the green circle long enough to complete it. Or you could just buy a breacher and make them guzzle healing until they explode, at least on normal. Anyway, with the heart exploded by a bomb, the strain in this region should be much, much weaker. Hellborn Detachment 826 will be remembered as heroes for their sacrifice. Meanwhile, the rest of the UN2 will finish the fight. But considering what RealWare winds up doing before the 22nd century, perhaps this is a bit futile. From here we get 2 dialogue options. The first lets us continue playing after the ending, while the second one just boots us back to the title screen and keeps our save file from before we began Heartbreaker. You know, I'm actually in the Touch Dimensions Discord. The channel for their next game, Vertical Fighters, hasn't seen any activity since 2024, and I'm not sure how many people in the already small team are even left. And I think that's a terrible shame, because Strain Tactics has a kind of depth and charm that I find fascinating, from a variety of items that all have some kind of use, to a sandbox-style gameplay where pretty much anything is viable through enough finesse. If it's not clear, this game has been stuck in my head for a while now, and if you're interested in checking it out for yourself, on Steam it's $15 and less than half a gigabyte of space. It was released for mobile devices after all. Although I didn't use them, the UI is a bit small for my taste. Hopefully this game isn't gonna get delisted from Steam or anything, but we'll see. Thanks for making it to the end. I'm so sorry that this one took so long to whip up. Well, honestly, I've been feeling kind of fatigued for the past few weeks. I'm not sure why. Could be I've been playing an overabundance of grim and gritty tactical games where all the settings are bleak and so many people are dicks to each other. So I figured, why not, as a palate cleanser, cover an entirely different kind of game? One with a cute anime art style and no combat. See? Says that there on the store page. I figured that should be a nice and low-stakes kind of topic for me to cover. Oh, the tutorial is a premonitory dream about our restaurant getting destroyed. I'm sure we won't have to worry about that until later. I'm sure the opening will at least be relatively Excuse me? 3,000 yen? Kneecaps? Oh, for God's fuck.